Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. It's your guy Rico, and we are here to break down the week that was, the game that was against the Cincinnati Bengals, the team that absolutely has our number. And if you guys don't think that's the case, wake up. Wake up, people, because the Bengals got our number, man. And that is okay, because now it gives us an opportunity to learn from mistakes, get better, and gives us a sense of motivation for next game, for next upcoming game. Folks, normally I would come in ready to go guns a-blazing on what's wrong with the Bills. Here's how we should fix them. This person should get fired. That person should get fired. You know what I'm saying? Demote this person. Surprisingly, I'm not feeling that way. And I'm blowing my own mind that I'm not feeling this way. I'm feeling a sense of optimism. And I have my reasons why. I do have my reasons why. But that I'll share, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the show. But for those that are tuned in right now, do me a favor as you guys are climbing into the room and kind of making your way to the show. Smash that like while you guys are in here, and drop where you guys are from, because I see a lot of folks come from different spots. I know a lot of y'all folks are from Western New York. You guys are from Buffalo, maybe Rochester. But like, where my other folks at, man? Drop your, you know what I'm saying? Drop your city, drop your area code, do what you got to do. Show some love and show where you guys are representing from. So it's always a good time to, you know what I'm saying, know who's coming from where, who's representing from where. You know what I mean? So let's get into it, man. Let's get right into it and recap these Bills before I get joined by some guests tonight. And we got to talk about this game. But salute to y'all coming through. And let's get talking about these Bills, man. So we've had a couple of days now to vent, to share your disdain for the way these Bills have been playing. We as Bills fans, we love this team. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, folks. Welcome to the show, by the way. We love this team. We die. We live and die for this team, man. We were rooting for this team when this team was buns. So we about to turn our backs on the squad now? Ain't no way. And I hear people, I'm turning off the screen. I'm going to go and start watching basketball instead. I'm just going to chill on the NBA. Get going, because when we start stacking dubs again, I don't want to see your ass coming back. We're like, go Bills. Bills Mafia. Go sit your ass on the sideline, bro. This ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to have tough skin. You got to be tough. You know what I'm saying? A tough-minded fan to endure some of these rocky roads that we're coming across. And that's what it comes down to. By the way, shout out to people that are showing up from Ontario. I see y'all. Anybody from Nova Scotia out here, bitch? Anybody from Nova Scotia? Let's go. Anyway, so we're on rocky terrain right now. We are. And what team doesn't go through rocky terrain, whether it's at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, or in the middle of the season? I mean, let's keep it a buck. Let's go back to the Vikings. The Vikings last year, although finished with a great record, but they were finishing on rocky roads until they made it to the playoffs, and then just got absolutely just smashed in the playoffs. But they just made their way into the playoffs, not knowing, I don't know how they made it, because they're winning at the skin of the teeth, still putting points on the board, but nobody would believe that they were going to do anything special, because they were going through some rocky times. It happens, right? The Bengals 2 years in a row start off the year rocky, and then they ascend and they get better. So This is typical. Bills always start off hot. Then we get into this lull in the middle of the season where we just are just out of sorts, and then we figure it out. And isn't it the best time to figure shit out while you're, you know what I'm saying, trying to learn things and you start to, you know what I'm saying, get better near the end of the season? I'd rather that. You can't just be rocking things right from week 1 to week 18. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So like you have to go through some adversity. You have to go through some adversity. Like every year, there's teams that go through adversity. You have to understand it. We had our fair share last year, and guess what? It's not going to stop. We got some adversity that we got to go through right now. The amount of injuries that we have that we've sustained on defense prior to last game, and then we've added to the laundry list of injuries. And we're going to talk about these injuries when my man comes onto the show. The thigh doc. I mean, we got lots of injuries to talk about, so I'm sure we're going to get into it. But like, there's room for optimism, and I'm here for it. And I'll explain my points afterwards. But let's go through this game. All right. And I know some people are kind of not feeling it, but I'll explain to you because you guys know me. If I really am pissed off with this team, I got no bones, and I will let them have it. I really do. It's just some people call me negative sometimes. I don't give a damn. It's just how I'm feeling. But like, I don't feel as badly as some folks feel about this. My man Jeff King comes in and says, Rico, my friend, I just want honest. And I mean honest opinions on what really needs to happen in this organization to really turn things around. Not for this year, but for future years to come. Honesty. And that's why we do this content creation, right? To share our opinions. I mean, that's why I started it. I started it because I started hearing other things that I disagreed with when I was listening to, you know what I'm saying, talk radio, or I was on the message boards, if you will, or is in the Facebook chats. And I was like, yo, like my voice isn't being heard. So I need to, find a way that I could be myself and kind of, you know what I'm saying, express myself on how I feel about my Bills. So honesty is what you want. And right now, honestly, I don't really think that. I was thinking like we should be panicking right now, and there is a route for you to panic. But then I'm looking at this team still has offensive pieces intact. They still have offensive pieces intact. So once we wake up, and that's the big thing, if we wake up, and I believe we will, we got too many dogs on this team for us not to wake up. We really do. And the biggest dog of all is number 17. You know he's going to wake up. You know he's going to get things popping really soon. It's just a matter of everybody coming on one page, and we're not on one page just yet. And that includes Ken Dorsey. And they're gonna figure it out. And I have my opinions on what needs to happen, in my opinion, and what needs to happen from Josh Allen too, because there is not one person at fault in this situation. You can sit here and say fire the OC, and that's the like the common thing that people are going about right now. I'm not so much on it. I mean, giving it some time to really give it some thought. Are they clicking right now? No. Does something have to change? Yes, but I don't think a firing does it. And if they do decide to go that route, now you're in scramble mode on who's going to take over. Now you got to. There's too much, change in the middle of the season. You can do it, but it's a risk. Are you willing to risk that? And that's what it comes down to. But before I get into my opinions on the recap of the game, let me bring in my guy, the Thigh Doc. And you guys already know what it is. I mean, today he's not going to be on video. He's going to be just by phone. And we will do it up. So let's bring in the Thigh Doc, and let's talk about these injuries, because there's a lot of injuries that we got to deal with. And there we have it.
Hey, Rico.
My guy, the Thigh Doc. Alex, what's going on, man? Talk to me. What's happening? How are you? how did you enjoy this past game, or did you?
Tough sled in there. Didn't like it. Not much to say other than things still look pretty dysfunctional.
They definitely
More
are dysfunctional.
more injuries tacking on.
Well, listen, let's talk about these damn injuries, man. These injuries are tacking on. I mean, Christian Benford down. Dane Jackson apparently went down with an injury. We got like our middle linebacker, another one down. In listen, like how much more can we take with these injuries, and who's gonna step up? I mean, Terrell Bernard was, you know what I'm saying, the bright spot on this defense, kind of holding things together. And now he's down with a concussion. Who knows how long it's gonna take before he gets back and he's back to normal. Talk to me. Let's go through it from most important injury that you're concerned about to the one that you're
Yeah,
not concerned about.
the big ones hide. So
Yes.
I don't know. You remember early in the year, I said the one to look out for, the ticking
Yeah.
time bomb, is Hyde.
Yes.
They never disclosed it, but in his team picture, it confirmed it. He had the anterior scar on his neck. So the gold standard for a herniated disc in the neck is a fusion.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the fusion is, like, yeah, that spot gets right, but it's the joint above and below that gets beat up at an accelerated rate. So when he took that shot, I wasn't worried about concussion because he looked like he was good, but his arm was dangling down. So so I'm like, damn, that's a neck injury, and they disclose it as a stinger, and that's not good a year after a fusion. So yeah, they're calling it a stinger now. But what does that mean? That means like the nerve got stretched or pinched above or below that fusion site, and now he's got to have a real humbling conversation. I don't know if the numbness is gone and his strength's back in his arm. That's one thing, and the other thing is that other joint just got beat up. So usually, wouldn't be surprised if the guys hang it up at this point. So
Really?
I'd be big time concerned on this one. Absolutely. They
So
just signed a safety to the practice squad. I think that moves the needle even more. Um, yeah, they could be quiet on it. Could go on the IR. They just they kind of shush it up, and then at the end of the year, a lot of the contractual stuff, like using the word retire. I don't know if you remember, like with Eric Wood.
yep.
Um, it gets screwy with the cap hit. So we'll see what happens.
I don't like the sound of your voice, bro. You
Nah.
seem
Oh
you seem
no, that
very
was bad. I told you, man. At the beginning of the
yeah,
year, I'm like, a guy coming off a fusion. The average shelf life is 3 years in a contact sport, and he's at an advanced age already where he's like 30, 31. So I figured this was his last season. I was hoping he would get through it. He'd hang him up, but now he's got the injury. So, uh, you know, look, I don't want to sound like an idiot if he comes back because he could obviously play through it if he wants to keep risking it. But that's like a big no. So
So
we'll see.
what are the odds that he returns next week and he plays next week? I mean, we gotta try to, or they shut him down until the bye week and they give him 3 weeks off,
Yeah,
and then we get a cracking again. Or what are the chances that takes place?
there's a chance. I don't know. I'm not examining him. I don't know if he herniated
I
another
hear you. I
disc
hear
in
you.
his
I hear
neck,
you.
but
It's tough to examine for
it's
sure.
definitely this is a big red flag.
All right. Well,
So here, Rico. So here's two ways it's going to go down. It's a flub. He gets some rest. He could come back next week and come back in a couple weeks.
yep.
And his arm gets right. It shakes it off. He
Yep.
plays, finishes the year. But if he does come back, and he gets another stinger real easy, like on like a baby hit, it's
Yep.
over. It's it. I
Dang.
mean, it's like a cat with 9 lives. He's on 8.5. So we'll see where this goes.
No, and listen, Bills fans don't want to hear this, but
No,
this is the
it's the
reality
truth.
of playing ball. You come back from a pretty serious injury. You breathe some life into the defense, but then this is the risk you took. You could take a nasty fall or a nasty hit, and that could put you out for a little bit. So hopefully it's not as serious as it sounds, but I'm not
It's
optimistic that he plays this week. I really
it's
am not.
definitely serious. So
100%.
yeah, yeah, that neck's fragile right now.
It's a good listen, man. It's a great it's a great feeling to know that we have some depth there with Taylor Rapp.
Correct.
So, that'll be nice. Okay, let's talk about our linebacker, uh,
Yeah, Bernard.
Mr. Bernard, Terrell Bernard, concussed. He left the
Yeah,
game, and he got banged up pretty good, man. He got rocked. He got
yeah.
rocked.
So he took a shot. He took a shot the series before. I posted the clip. Took a shot. They were like gang tackling. It was kind of friendly fire. They were tackling someone, and he like clinked faces with a teammate as they collided on him.
Yep.
He was down. Like he laid down. He was like face down. You could tell he was shaken up. He stayed in, finished that series, came back, and then had like nothing really happened to him, and he just had to take a knee. So obviously he was probably in a fog. Maybe took like another like little dink. Me personally speaking, like I wouldn't say I was concussion prone, but I took a nasty shot one day. Like I got hit in the temple. Everything went black. Couldn't really, felt like my arm was polarized to the ground. But when you're young, and this was like, almost 20 years ago, you're like, yeah, I'm a warrior, go back in. But then I noticed another, like later in the year, I just got like, I don't know, just collided with a fullback, like nothing serious. And it was just like quick fog, you know what I mean? So I'm guessing that's kind of what happened out there. He took the big shot, thought he could stay in, and then just like a little ding, just kind of like he was like, shit. You kind of feel like you're stoned, kind of, and it almost gives you a panic attack because you're like, why do I feel like this? So, so I'm assuming that's what happened. So he took the shot the drive before, and then got knocked out pretty easy the next series. Do I think he could play? They can. He can progress through the concussion protocol. I mean, you saw what they did with Kincaid though. He's another guy who got dinged up, went back in the game, but he had to miss a week. But a linebacker is definitely like colliding more. You probably want to be a little more cautious. So definitely be back in 2 weeks, but it's pushing it for this Monday night, which is pretty concerning because they're going to be on the third and fourth string linebackers.
This is new. This, I mean, I hate
it's getting ugly.
Yo, this news is getting it's getting depressing, my man.
It's kind of ridiculous.
We're getting banged up, and this used to be a medical staff that I used to, have some pride in. And like, yo, our guys never really get injured. We're pretty good. I think age, obviously, I mean, not with the concussed Terrell Bernard, but age obviously plays a factor in this whole situation when it comes to staying healthy and surviving a full slate season. It's tough, man.
Rico, I'm gonna mention two things.
Talk to me.
We were healthy. We have a good facility. That's not really the thing. You get a young team. Mm-hmm. They're not as injury prone because they're younger. So that's one thing. And then two, I felt like after 13 seconds, I felt like some guys started getting paid. And when you got the money, you can invest into your body. And I'm not like, I don't want to say like something politically incorrect, but when guys are all in, they got some money. I mean, they're going to put stuff in their body to pump them up. Sometimes that leads to those strains, okay? The pops, stuff like that. So, again, you get young guys that are on, rookie deals. You get what I'm saying here, right?
I know exactly what you're saying. I get it. I get it. So
it's how it goes.
We got Terrell Bernard with the concussion. Now we've got our linebacker, our corner, Christian Benford. And I'm going to put both of them. I'm going to put both of them in this category because, Christian Benford and Dane Jackson. But I hear Dane Jackson is not something to worry too much about. But Christian Benford with the hamstring, that is a concern.
Yeah, because he popped up on the report on Friday, which was weird, but they said he was going to be active. So something must have tweaked, didn't feel right, and then he pulled it in the game. So usually 2 weeks for hamstrings. That doesn't mean he misses 2 games. That means he needs like 10 to 14 days rest. So presumably he would miss this game and be able to be back next week. It all depends on severity. There's a lot of factors to it, but I wouldn't put my money on Benford playing.
Well, I mean, this is perfect timing for Rasul Douglas to get his feet wet and get into it. So it's going to be the Rasul Douglas show next to Dane Jackson. That's kind of banged up as well. So like, yo, we are limping into the middle of the season, bro, and it's not looking good, man.
So the way the vibes are going, I just I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's
you are a Debbie Downer, you know that, but you need to give us the goods, bro.
yeah, the vibes are sour. There's a lot of pointing fingers, stuff going on. And now it's Monday night against the Broncos. You got 7 starters out on defense. Defense just, what if they run shed on us, and the offense panics. Allen starts throwing stuff around.
Yep.
I'd worry about him trying to extend plays, get hurt. That's a whole other story. But what if shit hits the fan on Monday night in Buffalo? They get trounced by the Broncos on national TV. I would
It could
just
happen.
absolutely cry. It
It
can, and it's a reality now.
100% happen.
I'm pretty nervous.
Listen, as you should be. So
Yeah.
I do have Carl Jones in the background, but I don't want to take away your time because I know you with your fam stuff. But I still want to get your take quickly on this game overall. Do you feel that were we in position to compete? I mean, honestly, if you looked at the game, were we in position to compete with the Bengals? Were the Bengals that much better than we were, or it was just we shot ourselves in the foot? We just couldn't execute turnovers. What were your thoughts on the game overall? What are your thoughts?
No, I think we were in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They didn't just destroy us on the line, which was good. Both sides of the ball. I wouldn't say that we dominated them either, but it was a little bit of a stalemate, which is an improvement from last year.
Yep.
I just think they got more weapons and were depleted, and they hit the ball. They hit those big third downs. They had some big plays. We haven't had we need explosive plays. That was our DNA. That's not there.
No
Yes, the analytics look good, but I think the biggest variant, we're like Dinkin and Duncan looking nice.
Yep.
But I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 50 to 75% difference of plus 20-yard plays from last year. I remember Allen even in a press conference saying like big plays win games. Like he knows. So I don't know.
It's tough.
I feel like McDermott's in Dorsey's head, and now the more we get this, a poor record, the more pressure there's going to be. There's less room for error, and sometimes this is when the popcorn starts popping. So we'll see. Obviously, I'm just hoping that they use this adversity, regroup, and then hit their stride. But
I'm hoping.
Every week it gets the chances are slimmer and slimmer and less room for error. So
listen, man, I'm hoping for the same thing, man. But listen, man, we appreciate you. I love that you came in and kind of set it straight. Micah Hyde, man, I didn't realize it was positioned that bad. I'm not putting your feet to the fire saying he's not. It's close to it's dire, but you're concerned, and that's
but
fair.
Like I said, even if he comes back, and it's going to be easier to get the next stinger, and then each time he gets dinged, that's like, okay, hey. Do you want to pick your kid up when you're 40? Is it worth it? That's how it goes. I mean, these guys they're not going to die. He's not going to get paralyzed, but it's a matter of, okay, damn it, Hyde, you're going to need another fusion next year. And then just everyday life, you fuse 2 joints, you're going to need another third one in 10 years. And that's kind of when you're disabled.
You got to
like a literal disabled human at 40 years old. So we'll see.
You got to play the long game, man. It's a long game in life. That's what you want to. All right, folks. Well, listen, man, that's my man Thigh Doc coming through and handling business and letting us know the goods on the injury report. We appreciate you, my man. And take care, little man, and we'll have you back on next week. Hopefully, we can see your pretty face next week, bro.
You got it. Hey, we can turn this around still. So I got hope. Yeah. All right.
Peace. All right, that's my man. I mean, listen, man, he's giving us the news that we need. And right now, I mean, I knew that Mike Hyde was banged up, but do not be surprised if he can't go. And now it's going to be the Taylor Rapp Jordan Poyer show. And I mean, at some point this year, we're bound to see it. We did see it, some combinations of it, of Poyer as a linebacker, and then you got Hyde and Rapp in the backfield, in the defensive backfield. But now things are going to change up if Micah Hyde can't go. So now this whole wrinkle of having, three safeties on the field, we might have to scrap that and kind of, move along. But anyway, I could talk about it until I'm blue black in the face. But we gonna bring my man Carl Jones on, and I'm sure he's got lots to say. I need my man to give me that. You know what it is, man. I need that. Hey, he's good to go. So without further ado, let me bring in my guy from News 8, Mr. Carl Jones. What's up, Carl?
How we doing tonight, my man? How we doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. I see you got the. It looks like you got the clean cut a little bit not too long ago. Went to the barber.
Last week, but it's looking clean. I gotta take care of the face though.
Let me ask you something, man. I gotta listen. Side note, all right. So, talking about barbers, I mean, barbers to me, a barber is important. Would you agree?
Listen, my barber it's essential. Like when I first got here, that was one of the first things I asked around. I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure my updo is right. It gotta be. It's essential for me. Always been since I've been a little kid.
I got to share this with you, man. So I moved to Nova Scotia a couple years ago, and I needed to find myself a barber. So I had my mans from Ontario tell me, look, hit up this barbershop, find yourself someone, and go from there. Found myself a Jamaican cat, came straight from Jamaica. He's been in Nova Scotia forever. He had his own barbershop, so he's been my guy. He's been cleaning me up ever since, right? I would go. He knows exactly what I want, but every time you gotta go with the app. All these barbers these days, you gotta sign in with the app. Cool, sign in with the app. All is good. I get there and he gives me a cut that I'm like, okay, it's not your best. And then he's rushing me because he's got his next guy coming and he didn't even do my bottoms. I said, whoa, what's going on? Right. So now I'm like, I don't say a word. I say, yo, aren't you going to finish this up? He goes, oh, but on the app, you just chose the haircut. I was like, fam, you've been doing my shit for 2 years. Are we going to change up? I feel some type of way. So I'm out. So my question to you is, do I have to announce myself that I'm out, or I'm like, yo, I ain't coming back?
I mean, how you said it's been 2 years since y'all been together?
2 years.
Man, I don't know. It's like a relationship. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like me and my barber, like that's my girlfriend, she's one thing, but my barber ain't too far off. Like
that's what I'm saying.
We're really locked in. So I mean, you might have to have a nice little talk with him. Don't ghost the barber. Can't do that.
I felt disrespected. And I feel like, you know what? The disrespect, I'm gonna go somewhere else, and I'm gonna find myself another barber. I gotta be a free agent now. That's what I feel. But anyways, we'll see how it is. You just gave me that look right now with the fresh cuts. I'm like, man, I need a new barber, bro. So I gotta find I gotta figure that out. But anyway, let's get to this Bills talk, man. So overall, your thoughts on this Bengals-Bills game. Were we severely outmatched or were we in this game? Because the score would give you one thing, but watching the play and watching with your eyes tells you another. And a third thing I'm going to add in there is looking at all these analytics. I swear, sometimes I get so sick of these analytics, EPA this and DVOA that and all this. But then when you look at the game, it's like, well, where's all this at? Like what's on the analytics, what's on paper doesn't give me what I see on film, and what's on film doesn't give me the score. When I look at the score, it's like, yo, it's different. So as a former player, you still love the game. What are your thoughts on that when you look at those three aspects when just analyzing a game?
Yeah, first off, that I think the Bills got outplayed. Yeah, I think the Bengals going into the game were the better team, especially how they were playing the previous 2 weeks. Coming off that Niners win on the road was very convincing. So I'm not really surprised at the result. How it got there, a little bit to a certain extent. I mean, you have figured at some point the Bills would turn things around offensively. Baloo Anarumo, I believe that's how you say his name, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. Right. He got the Bills number. Like every time they link up, he always figures out a game plan to really frustrate Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen. And it happened again to a certain extent Sunday night. So I'm not really too surprised at the result. And like I've told you ad nauseum on the defensive side of the ball, they're down so many pieces. You only can do but so much, especially when you got some horses on the outside and then Joe Burrow back there, Joe Cool, just dissecting the Bills offense Bills defense, for like 340 passing yards. But on the analytics talk, it's funny as you mentioned that because I wasn't the biggest analytics guy for the longest time until I got into this space and I realized the value of it. And the reason why the Bills analytics are so good offensively, one of the reasons, I'm not saying the main reason, but one of the reasons why is that they never have great field position. So the counting stacks always look good when you got to go, when you start at your own 15 or start at your own 20 and you're driving 50, 60 yards or you're stalling out in the red zone or things of that nature, right? Or you're missing field goals. So the counting stats are always going to look good in that regard. So that's one reason why EPA, DVOA, all that type of stuff looks good. But yes, anyone with eyes knows that the Bills offense has struggled over the past month for sure.
If someone's going to come to me and give me all these EPAs, honestly, I just close my ears like, yo, bro, get out of here with that. Because I watch the same shit. I'd love to watch a football game with someone that really believes. And I'm not saying I don't believe in it because there's truth in these statistics. Don't get me wrong. But I'd like to sit someone that really is heavily into this DVOA EPA. And then when some bullshit happens, explain that to me. Well, according to get out of here, man. Let's just watch this game and see what it's for. And it's starting to annoy the hell out of me. So I had to get that off my chest because it just annoys the heck out of me, man. And I don't want to seem like I'm ignorant to these EPAs and DVOAs. I get it, right? Or I mean, adjusted passing percentage because what should have been, and he made this happen. Yo, he threw that interception and he shouldn't have thrown it there. But according to this, let's talk about it, man. Let's get right to the shits right away. And we're going to talk about the man of the hour, the attraction, the guy that everybody's talking about, the guy that's going to lead this team, in my opinion. Once he gets his act together, he's gonna be back on top, and he's going to be taking names. And it's this guy right here, man. Let's talk about Josh Allen. Let's talk about this guy and what he brings to the team and what he's not bringing to the team.
Yeah. Well, once again, the Josh Allen experience in terms of taking care of the ball. That was at a premium once again with that bad interception that he threw. It should have never been thrown. The corner never really gave him an indication that he was going to sit on that out route. So it was just a bad read. And you can look at his feet, by the way, when his feet are literally telling him like, hey, don't throw this. And he still throws it. He gets away with it a lot, throwing that little hole shot in cover 2. And unfortunately, Cam Taylor-Britt said, not today, young man. Yeah. But to a certain extent, that happens, and that set up Cincinnati's points literally just a few plays later after that. So you're giving Cincinnati essentially free points. But then on the same token, though, he was making plays that necessarily weren't there, whether it was offensive coordinator design wasn't great, guys not getting open, the guys around him in his face. So, I mean, this isn't like, oh, Josh Allen's playing bad, the Bills are trash. Like, it's more of a, like I always tell everyone with that, what makes football so beautiful, it is very rarely one person's fault. Like, it is almost never one person's fault. It's a collective, right?
And Josh didn't talking about the Jets game week 1.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the closest I think I've ever gotten to saying on air, yeah, one person lost a football game. That's the closest I've ever got to saying that. But and then on that last drive where he's trying to make something happen, he kind of looked like the old Josh, where he just saying, "Forget y'all, I'm just scrambling," right? So I mean, it's tough. I mean, he's gonna need the guys around him to do their 111th and do their job to help him, because he can only do but so much. Because clearly he has his own deficiencies right now that he needs to work on and fix.
It's funny that you said that. The old Josh. What is the old Josh, right? And why is the old Josh gone? And when we see remnants of old Josh, we're like, oh, there he is. We're like that meme with Leonardo DiCaprio sitting on the couch. That's the guy. That's the guy we miss. Where's he at? So like, we have to transition, because I mean, listen, I want to get I'll get my points in once, because I want to get all your points in, because I got all night to kind of get my points out. But I need Carl Jones. I'm only limited with Carl Jones for a little bit. So now I got to transition. We go from Josh Allen, talk about Josh Allen and his deficiencies, Josh Allen and his superpowers. We know what he's capable of doing. And then he has his blips. But these blips come from somewhere. And when you say old Josh Allen, I felt good about seeing old Josh Allen. Well, where the hell did so this new Josh Allen, who created this? Whose fault is this new Josh Allen? Is he trying to compete with all the other elites around the league? Is he trying to change the game up? Or is it his offensive coordinator saying, enough of this old Josh Allen? You need to mature. Stop being the guy that has no sense. You know how our parents would tell us, act like you got some sense. You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes Josh be acting like he ain't got no damn sense. So maybe, just maybe, Ken Dorsey's like, act like you got some sense. Follow my script. I promise you it's going to be successful. Don't deviate. Is Josh deviating from the plan, or is Ken Dorsey just not? His plan's not good.
I do want to preface this by saying, I know it's Ken Dorsey's the offensive coordinator and everything is supposed to be under his umbrella. However, every football team that I've ever been a part of, all my friends who are in the league, or my friends who play collegiate, the head coach doesn't just like let the other side of the ball like go by the wayside and like not focus on that at all. So some of that does fall on Sean McDermott, and like in terms of not necessarily maybe schemes on a down-to-down basis, but in terms of maybe you don't want Josh Allen to run as often, or maybe you don't want certain guys in certain packages and things in that regard. So I do want to get that out there, because I've been seeing everyone just like dumping on Ken Dorsey. He has his own faults. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, we got to be honest here and let people know actually how this football game planning stuff works, because that's not really how that stuff works. But with Dorsey, it's tough, man. It's really tough. Josh is not running as often by design. I mean, they said all offseason they were going to take that away from him. Right? He hasn't. Over the past 2 weeks, he had a couple of design quarterback scrambles. So I think it's a little bit of a yin and yang, you know. I mean, you can try to contain him as much as you want, but you saw in that last 2 drives, he said, forget all that. Like, I'm taking off.
Right.
And that was the most success they had outside of their opening drive on the script. So who knows what goes forward, but don't get it twisted. Josh still signs off on the game plan too. Like, the quarterback doesn't, like, he get paid way too much money to sit up there and be like, yes, Mr. Dorsey, I'm okay with everything that you're game planning. So,
so wouldn't you say, yes, Mr. Dorsey is equivalent to saying, I just run what the coach tells me to run? Isn't that saying, yes, Mr. Dorsey? I'm putting you on the spot, kid. Listen,
I mean,
Mr. Dorsey, talking to some next cat, man. I got to put you on the spot, baby. Let's go.
I mean, that is to a certain extent, but once again, they have all week where they go over this stuff. Where Wednesday they're going through their first and second down packages. Thursday they're going through third down. They're doing this on a collaborative effort where it's not just one person signing off on the stuff and no one else has a say. Josh still has a say. Now, granted, is he the one coming up with the stuff all the time? No, of course not. That's what your coach is for. But he still signs off on it, whether he agrees with it or not, or maybe he doesn't want to be combative. I'm not in that locker room. I have no idea. But I do know that he has some say. It's like, whether it's 1%, it's more than 0.
Well, that's facts. Well, and you mentioned Coach McDermott, and I'm reading the amount of things I've seen today about what we should do, and coaching staff, and maybe Brandon B needs to go, and maybe listen, it's laughable. I get it. Maybe Sean McDermott needs to be fired. Maybe he's Marty Schottenheimer. Maybe he's the equivalent of Andy Reid when he's with the Eagles, right? A lot of those things are coming out and valid, don't get me wrong. But like, people need to understand that prior to McDermott, we were some cheeks. We were cheeks, and our cheeks were getting clapped for 20 damn years. We finally got someone to remedy our red cheeks, and now you're saying we're taking a couple licks and you're trying to get rid of this, brother. Like, fam, some Bills fans just forget. This head coach has got this thing in the right direction, and you want to ruin that because you feel like maybe we just need to tweak it and bring in an offensive-minded coach. What if this offensive-minded coach comes in and Josh hates what's going on, and now you see a totally different Josh, right? Sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking. I bring this up because when you start hearing this person has to go, that person has to go, I'm going to go back to offensive coordinator, Mr. Ken Dorsey. If the blunders continue, do you think these tough conversations will have to happen in terms of, we got to make a switch? The season's still on the line. We can still make some good things happen, in your opinion, because this is just opinion based here. Do you think a change at OC is something that we could see coming down the pipeline if these offensive woes continue?
I could see it being a conversation, and if it continues, especially with these next 2 weeks, right, where you got the Broncos and Jets before the schedule really kicks up, right, where you got Philly, Dallas, KC, Chargers, you got some big boys, some heavyweights, right? It's gonna be it's a gauntlet after you get past those 2 games. So if it's still poorly, and the Jets game is not going to be sweet. I mean, the Jets have had their number, especially on the defensive side of the ball, for the past 4 or 5 matchups, if we're going to be honest here. So those aren't going to be easy. But I mean, quite frankly, they haven't. I want to say it was the Green Bay or Minnesota game. I can't really get
Green Bay.
I don't know which way,
on that last year
of last year. They
Green
haven't
Bay.
really looked the same since, and for whatever reason, they just haven't. I'm not. I think if the Bills knew the answer, it would be fixed by now. True. But could that conversation be had? I don't know why you wouldn't or couldn't. It would be very uncomfortable, especially this late in the year. But I mean, if things are failing, why not? So I don't see why it couldn't be a conversation.
Conversation, I feel, is going to be put on the table if this does continue, because McDermott is the type, he did it when he first got here. He surrounded himself with people that had experience. I mean, it started with Rico Dennison, but when Rico Dennison's offense wasn't working, he kicked Rico Dennison to the curb quick things. And then that's when he brought in Dable. Anyway, that being said, if we do make the change, we obviously would have to go to internally. Joe Brady, Shula's there, and then you've got Aaron Kromer. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with these gentlemen, but it seems Joe Brady, the guy that's right next to him, being the quarterback coach, would have a say. Maybe that's the route that we take. So, and I'm not going to, you think I'm going to go there, but I'm not, because the next question I'm going to ask you is this. I see Joe Brady sitting next to Josh Allen. And then I pan back and I look at the Giants game, and DeVito, I don't know what happened. Something happened, and it was a terrible play. And they cut right to Dable, and Dable yells out, "What the F was that?" I don't see anybody on that sideline telling Josh, "Fam, what were you thinking throwing that?" And I'm talking about animated, not sitting next to him, look at the iPad together, saying, "Hey man, did you see that? That was some bullshit, bro. You can't." No, I need you to make some. You might have to make it public because some players need that public, like, you know what I'm saying, embarrassment. So to get their act together. I don't know if you, as a player, if you got beat on a double move, because double moves are nasty now. If you get beat on a double move, have you ever had a coach just chew you out and then that kind of set you straight and said, "Okay, I need to get my act together"?
Of course, yeah, I definitely have, especially at the collegiate level. Those coaches is ruthless. But I do think though that kind of is coach dependent, and I don't think one way is better than the other. Like, you look down in Miami, I don't think Mike McDaniel has ever said a bad thing publicly about any of his players, yet they really respond to him.
True.
He's really a big positive reinforcement guy. Sean McVay is another one of those guys who he's big on positive reinforcement. He's always, at least in the public eye, right, always speaking well of Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, especially in game, right? He's never going to let us see him and chew on them out. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way. It was kind of funny that you brought that up, how Dable was the fiery guy, and he's always talking, and he's always in your face. Some players respond better to that than others, because I've also been around players where they shut down when you hear something like that, and they don't really like that type of energy.
Not an alpha.
Right. So, I mean, you got to know your player, and you got to – and also, it has to be authentic, too. I don't want a coach just yelling at me, being all abrasive, and that's not really him, you know. If that's you, be you. But if it's not, then I ain't trying to have that fake energy. And now we got real issues. You're going to
be looking at coach like, "Yo, where'd this come from?"
Right. You ain't yelled at me all year, and now you want to yell at me. So, like, that's just player by player, coach by coach scenario.
I like it. Well, listen, man, you already know the drill because you've been on the show long enough. I mean, we might make you just an honorary co-host, brother. But here we are with the good, the bad, the ugly. And there were some good things in this game. There were some bad things, and there's damn near ugly things that happened in this game. Talk to me about like one or two good things that you felt that should not be ignored, and everybody should be paying attention to this.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, obviously, when I watch games, I'm looking at the secondary first. So I'm going to give love to Dane Jackson with the game that he had.
Yes, he sure did.
Had a nice open field tackle against Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon, if you've ever seen him in person, that's a big boy. So the fact that Dane took him down was good. He had a PBU that got called back because of the roughing the passer penalty on Tim Settle. He had some good coverages down the field on Jamar Chase. The Bills played a ton of man coverage. In fact, they played it on 43% of Joe Burrow's dropbacks, one of the highest rates that Joe Burrow has ever seen. So Sean McDermott really asked his DBs to step up. And the corner who was opposite of Jamar Chase was essentially playing cover zero because the safety was double teaming Jamar Chase. And there were a lot of reps where it was just literally Dane Jackson against T. Higgins, and he was fighting for his life. So I want to give him his flowers. I thought he played well, considering that 4 or 5 days prior, they brought in the guy who's going to replace him. So I thought Dane Jackson played well.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because you looked down on your notes. According to my notes, we played 43% of man coverage, you say, correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Of that 40, he said, "Oh, where's he going with this?" So of that 43%, we blitzed Joe Burrow 30% of the time. Bro, Joe Burrow's going to cook you. So now it goes back to hold on. And I get it. Coach has got to try everything he's got because as a defensive coordinator, you want to almost protect your defense and your deficiencies or where you're lacking things. So if you know you don't have the coverage back there, you're going to have to blitz and hopefully you get home. But we never got home. I mean, we got home once? We rarely got home. We rarely got home. So, and I get it. You got to give McDermott credit for trying everything and trying to, mask things because people don't realize like certain game plans. It may not be the game plan you intended to do, but knowing that you don't have that, you don't have this, you don't have this, that means I can't do this, can't do that. So now I've got to run this type of defense, this type of scheme. So interesting that 43% of man that we tried that against Jamar Chase and we did a decent job in stopping Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase did not go off like he's been going off on everybody else, but T. Higgins did. So take your poison. And this is why I think there was not a good matchup for the Bills. We just don't match well for the Bengals. The Bengals are just, I think, a better team than we are. Defensively, they just know what we're going to do. It's not that they have dogs on there, but they don't have elite players. It's just that the scheme is done well, and we just got outplayed on the defensive side of the ball. So I
So
love that.
like for myself, I'm a big boxing fan. So
Yep.
like I kind of analogize it to styles make fights. And sometimes that doesn't, like, I think the NFC is a good example where the 49ers can kick the living crap out of the Cowboys.
Sure.
But the Cowboys can play with the Eagles, and the Eagles are bad
Yeah,
matchup for the 49ers. Same type of deal in the AFC. Not necessarily this year because I think the Bills are so banged up defensively, but styles make fights. They really do.
Yeah, that's a great damn point. So for me, in terms of good, I mean, this one stands out like a sore thumb. Dalton freaking Kincaid was absolutely on the freaking money. And honestly, I don't know. And when you have a talent like this, it just boggles my mind as to why it took so long for us to absolutely make him a focal point of a game. Like, Diggs is going to get his, but you wait until week 9. Oh, sorry, I would say starting 2 weeks ago, we start to use Kincaid, and the guy's drop rate is insane. He don't drop anything. He catches and goes, and he's so fluid. You think, we would have made a focus on getting him involved in the game way more often than we did. But here we are, and that's why I'm optimistic about the rest of the season, because now we figured some things out. I think we've opened a new door as to how we can attack defenses going forward. So to me, Dalton Kincaid stood out tremendously. I think that's going to be a mismatch we start to use and utilize way more often going forward. And defenses are going to have to kind of shuffle things around, and maybe things just opens up, and maybe we get the old Josh Allen back. I don't know. We shall see. So we could talk about the good all day, because there's some good things, but there's some bad things, bro. Talk to me now, and I want to respect your time. So you give me that blink, say, hey, it's time to go. But looking at the bad, man, anything stand out to you that was like, come on, son?
Yeah, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but the Bills' pass rush just wasn't good. And we've all heard the old adage: the best way you affect any of the elite quarterbacks is just getting pressure to them. And the Bills didn't do a good job of doing that. That's why they blitzed a ton, because they couldn't get home with 4, so they had to. Right. They felt like they had to bring in guys, whether it was a corner blitz. A couple times I saw Rasul Douglas trying to get home. Obviously, the linebackers, Poyer, and they just couldn't really affect Joe Burrow enough for him not to feel comfortable. I mean, I thought the Bills played well considering the circumstances defensively, but 340 passing yards, and a couple of those drives that the Bengals stalled on was a phantom holding penalty that basically kicked them out of field goal range, and then there was another false start that made it 3rd and long.
That's right.
Kind of messed them up. So it wasn't like the Bills defense played amazing, right? And a lot of that was because they really couldn't affect Joe Burrow. I mean, point blank period. He was back there playing 7-on-7 in some reps, and you feel bad for the secondary because they're already undermanned, and then they're going up against arguably the best quarterback receiving duo in the league. So the pass rush definitely didn't help out Sunday night at all.
I like that. I like that you went there. And see, I struggled with this one. The bad. I can say offensively, we're bad. We're not doing well right now. We're not great. I can say, the bad is the offense. We just can't move. And when we do move, it's when Josh wants to be Josh and goes to old Josh and starts kind of moving the ball, and we go up tempo, right? And that's the key word that's been used these last couple of days is up tempo. And we're gonna change the style a little bit because we just didn't want to keep going up tempo, which makes no sense to me. But I'm gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball because I know we're banged up. And McDermott is trying to do everything he can to kind of keep us going in there. But defensively, we're just allowing too many big plays. And I know we're banged up. I understand it. But there comes a time where one of you guys has to step up because it's just the nature of the business. We got a lot more football games to go. So we have to start standing up. And it's hard for me to say that because we only allowed 24 points. So, but to me, there were some moments where these guys could move the ball anytime they wanted to. I was shocked. It was 4th and 2, and they were moving the ball at will and decided to punt it. Even the commentators were like, really? You're going to punt it when you can move the ball at will? That was a problem for me. So defensively, we've got to become better. And it's tough for me to put on the defense because the defense continues to provide an opportunity for the offense, and this offense keeps sputtering, and they just don't. But we depend on this defense. Our head coach is a defensive guru. He's supposed to be. So you got to get us over the hump if this offense is not going to do it. It's tough for me to say that because we got banged up, but it's just the way I feel at this moment. But I'm still optimistic as this goes. And I'm like, I could go to the ugly. And right now we're 5-4. I'm going to just go. This is ugly. We're 5-4. We're now out of playoff hunt. If the playoffs were to start today, we're gone. We're out of here. We're now looking about who do we pick at 14th in the draft? We're into that mode. So To me, it's the record. We're 5-4. Thank goodness the Jets lost because we would have been third in the division. And I'm gonna tell you, we would have been rioting right now. So to me, our record of being 5-4, and now we're in that little bracket that says in the hunt. Now the Bills are in the hunt. We are in the hunt. We used to be like, hey man, are we getting the number 1 seed this year? Maybe not. Maybe we'll just take the division. Now we're not even in the division ranks. We can't even take the division right now. Well, we're half a game out slightly, so we're still in it. But my goodness, the record 5-4. It's a nasty. I can't look at 5-4. We're close to 500. I can't. We're too good to be that. So to me, that's my ugly 5-4 record. I don't like it. What about you?
To give you a little bit of optimism, the Bengals were 5-4 last year and made it to the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
To give you a little bit of optimism. I'm not saying that this will happen for the Bills, but that's what happened last year. For me, going back to the offensive side of the ball, I heard it from Dan Orlovsky earlier and love listening to his work, but I felt like this over the past month and I didn't really have the word for it, but it was the identity. The Bills offense has zero identity. There's nothing that they really can hang their hat on when things don't go well. And I think that's where
you just slide over a little bit. Slide over so your face can be showed. There we go. Because right now, pretty much what you're telling us is the milk carton award, and the milk carton is the identity. It's lost.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you watch certain teams, you know they're bringing this to the table, right? When you watch the Miami Dolphins, you know you're getting a ton of motion, a lot of RPO stuff, and that's when you're getting explosive plays. When you watch the San Francisco 49ers, you know you're getting a really diverse run game. Eagles, play action shots down the field. But with the Bills, I mean, what are you getting outside of a heavy dosage of Stephon Diggs in whatever way he can get the ball? And I think that's where the Bills right now are struggling because they don't have anything they can hang their hat on when things aren't going well. And I know when they talk about rhythm and all that good type of stuff, well, it's hard to get in the rhythm when you don't have like an easy fastball right now that you can just hang your hat on. All right, we're not playing well. Let's just go to this. And they don't have that right now, which is weird to say with someone as talented as Josh Allen as your quarterback.
The Buffalo Bills right now is that one person that's at that wedding and they love to dance. And that one song comes on and they just get on the dance floor and they cannot dance for a damn because they got no rhythm. But they love to dance. They love to hear the music. It's like they hear something here, but what's really going on is not matching. And that's what's happening right now. So they practice all week and it's like, looks good, guys. And then when they put the product on the dance floor, what music are y'all listening to? Because this ain't working. This ain't working. And this is one of my analogies that I could use for this damn team, because like right now that's missing. That's that rhythm. That's that identity. It's missing. You know who else? I got to jump in there and say, I mean, there's somebody that's missing on this team. And your face is telling me you know who it is.
I'm not good with guessing.
Oh, yes, you say his name. This person was missing in action.
Oh, you talking about Gabe Davis?
Oh, I didn't even prompt you. I just said, you know who it is. Say his name. Well, listen, Gabriel freaking Davis. Bro, and here's the thing. As a receiver 2, I like Gabriel Davis. He had a nice statistical year last year. He actually had his best statistical year last year. And this year, he just hasn't been where I need him to be. And somebody said it. I think it was Patrick Peterson. And that's still, you know exactly what I'm going for. I think that rings true. He said it. That brother only has 3 routes in his arsenal. 3 routes. He's got that goal route. He's got that little dig route that he loves, and he's got the comeback. That's it. And I know those are the 3 that he's good at. Those are 3 that I know he's going to run, and that's where they're gonna. Excuse me, and give me that corner. That's a good route that he likes to run. That corner route. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, in my opinion, I don't feel like he's got that separation. So like they'll let him do what he wants to do, and I'm on it. And everything about Gabe Davis tells you like he should have an excellent year in this offense. You got Diggs. Diggs should be taking all the attention. This is where he should be eating, but he's not. So right now, Kincaid has taken that number 2 spot. And maybe, just maybe, this is where he excels in that 3rd spot, that 3rd option. So we'll see. But Gabriel freaking Davis, bro, I want you to have success. But fam, it ain't it. You missing, bro. APB alert. Where you at? We looking for you, man. The Popo is looking for you. Buffalo Police is looking for you. We need to bring you back to your parents. You're into the Bills and say, yo, we found him. So y'all got to do something with this guy because we can't keep picking him up on the street somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It has to change. It has to change. I know I'm not trying to crack you up, but man, I'm getting upset with this, man. Getting upset with these damn Bills and Gabriel Davis not showing up. He needs to show up because this team is too damn talented for you to just not get 2 targets with no catches. I'd be fuming. Which brings it back to Josh Allen. At the end of the day, Josh has got to play better. And it's really what it comes down to. So, my man, I don't want to take too much of your time. And I know you working and you off of work. I think you off of work, but I think you're going to get back into it. You got to do some editing. I don't know what you got to do. But your time is always appreciated, man. You come in, you give us great insight. Let's wrap this up with a bow, right? Your optimism with this team. Do we and I know it's too early to talk about this because I'm sure we're gonna talk about this way more ad nauseum for sure. But like, are we trending in a direction where we might not even get out of the AFC to even make the playoffs? Or is it too soon to be talking like that?
Trending? Well, yeah, the trend line is down right now. Like, let's be honest in that regard. They haven't played well over the past 4 months. But do I think that's the way it's 4 weeks, excuse me. But do I think that's the way it's going to stay? No, I think that the roster, as long as you got Josh Allen and you got that dude at quarterback, I tend to think that things will get figured out. I mean, it's very rarely that outside of catastrophic injury to quarterback, or a couple years ago, I know that the Ravens were really banged up everywhere. I think to a similar degree that the Bills are right now, maybe a little worse. Outside of that, I think they'll figure things out at some point. The offense has Stephon Diggs in 17. There are some teams out there who I think offensively in the AFC right now are a little challenged. The Browns, Steelers, and all those teams are ahead of them in the race right now. So I think those teams will come back down to earth later on in the year. But panic, I'm not a big panic guy. That's just not me in my day-to-day life, so I'm not going to use that with somebody else. But worried a little bit. Sure, it's been a month, but come Monday night, if you struggling again against the Denver Broncos, now we got to have some bigger discussions about where this season can end up.
Oh boy. Well, sir, I appreciate your time. And this is big. And by the way, tell Coach McDermott never listen to his receivers and talk about, I caught that ball. Boy, knock it off. I ain't using this challenge because we could have used that damn timeout and who knows what could have happened. Shame on Trent Sherfield. I caught it, Coach. The video doesn't seem like you did, bro. I ain't doing it. But here we are. So folks, Carl Jones, shout out to my man Carl Jones coming from News 8. Always comes in with that fire, and it's only going to get tougher from here because the questions are going to get tougher for you, and you're going to have to give us some answers because you're the one that's in there. And I'm waiting for your ass to be in them comments talking about, hey, Coach, Carl Jones from News 8. I got a question for you, bro. I haven't heard that yet. I'm waiting on your ass, bro.
I got you.
All right, my man. Listen, salute to my man Carl Jones. We appreciate you, man. And hopefully, I mean, if I can catch you next week, we're going to do it again. And love you out here, man. So I appreciate you, man. Salute. News 8, Carl Jones. Follow my man at Jones11_. And he's got great stuff on there. And I see you starting to put a little more content on there. I like that. So we going to get that thing popping, man. So I appreciate you, man.
We'll see you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my man, Carl Jones in the building. So now that I've got, someone else's opinion and insight, because you need someone that's played the game. You need someone that's, around, that's, hearing things, the rumbles and so on and so forth. It's always great to get that type of insight. So here's my insight. All right. So let's get this out the way. I like PFF. I know some people like, I don't mess with PFF, or they'll pick and choose what they love of PFF. They're really just good for O-line stuff. But I don't really mess around with it when it comes to QB stuff or receiver stuff or running back stuff. Man, PFF is PFF and grades are grades. So you can't just pick and choose which grades you want to say, I respect that one. They're all grades, right? And we graded we had some grades in this previous game, and you'll be surprised as to who graded how, right? So Mitch Morse, the center, because I'll tell you right now, when you look at the rest of the O-line, Deion Dawkins did not play well this week, according to PFF. And he was getting pushed around a bit. And that's what's got Trey Henderson is not a joke. That's a lot of man coming your way, right? Trey Henderson was on his ass. So Deion Dawkins did not have a good game. This guy was graded 55. Connor McGovern was graded even worse, I believe. Osiris Torrance was graded a 50. It wasn't good, folks. The O-line wasn't good, but Mitch Morse was the only bright spot on the squad at 67.1. Khalil Shakir was a 67.6. Dalton Kincaid, 75.1. So you're starting to see some good things happen with his offense. These pieces, they just got to put them together, right? Josh Allen was at 82.5. He was number 2 on the list. And number 1 on the list, you already know the best offensive player on the squad other than Josh Allen, clearly, is Diggs. And Diggs was graded at 86.4, right? So of the offense, you had Diggs at 86, Josh at 82, Dalton Kincaid at 75, Khalil Shakir at 67, and then you had Mitch Morse at 67, 67.1. Golly, man. We gotta do a better job protecting Josh, bro. We got to. And it starts in the trenches. You got to do a good job protecting Josh Allen so Josh Allen can do what he does. But if he's under duress, how are you expecting to get the ball to his damn receivers? It's just what it is, man. So when you look at the defensive side of the ball, defense, my goodness, man, I gotta give it to him. Dane Jackson, he makes the top 5 list. Dane Jackson was graded at a 72, and I'm gonna tell you, he had a couple moments where he gave up some big plays, but for the most part, he was the one guy that was really showing out, and they were testing him. They were absolutely testing Dane Jackson, and Dane Jackson answered the bell. He scored a 72 on the PFF grade. Surprisingly, Tyrell Dodson was graded at a 79.3, folks. Tyrell Dodson got some playing time under his belt and came through and handled business. The only thing I got to say about Tyrell Dodson is the blunder he had on the goal line. You had Linval Joseph. Linval Joseph came in and took on the double team like a man and opened up pretty much a hole for you and the linebacker. That's like a linebacker's dream. One-on-one is like Oklahoma, man. One lane, you got to come through me, and that ain't going to happen because I'm a linebacker. I'm going to thud your ass and go from there. This brother played hide and go seek behind Joseph, and while it was too late for him to make a play on it, there goes Joe Mixon into the end zone. That was the biggest blunder I saw from my man, you know what I'm saying, Tyrell Dodson, and he pulled that stunt. Like, come on, son. Like, we got to be better. But he graded at 79.3. So maybe after that, he got his act together, but he had no choice because we got banged up. So maybe that's a bright side to look at. Ed Oliver graded at 85.1. Welcome back, Ed Oliver. We didn't get the pressure that we needed from Ed Oliver, to get after it and finish on these quarterbacks, but Joe Burrow ain't no regular Joe. He ain't no regular Joe, man. That boy's special, man. Joe Burrow came through. Greg Rousseau, 89.6, graded an 89.6 on PFF. And lastly, this one shocked the heck out of me. Tim Settle was graded a 90.3 when it comes to PFF grade. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Joe Mixon, I know some of y'all are looking like, yo, man, Joe Mixon killed us. Last year he did. Dude, he averaged 2.6 yards a pop. 2.6 yards a pop. And they tried to run the football. He had 14 carries, 2.6 yards a pop. I think he had like 39 yards rushing. So the defensive front, in terms of corralling the run game, did their job. They did your job. It's just that Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. And we're too banged up in the back end to sustain us trying to get after Joe Burrow. And he threw for 340 yards. He dotted us all night, right? But the defense did their job in corralling and not letting Joe Mixon turn out. I had some guy trying to tell me, yo, we can't run the football. We know we can't. I know we can't. But like, if Mixon was killing us, what? Just shut your ass up if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I hate when people do that. Like, if you're going to say something with something behind it. He was killing us. He wasn't. He had a nice goal line run. You got to give it to him. But other than that, he was bottled up pretty good. Bottled up pretty damn good. So we did a decent job with Joe Mixon, right? Now, we have some guys that had some blunders, though. Defensively, Von Miller was graded at 44.1. A big missed tackle at the end. Where, I mean, what are we expecting from Von Miller coming back from a knee injury? And he's still not himself all the way. He's still not himself all the way. And you got to give him credit for that. But I'm gonna say this though. I see a comment coming in, and I actually agree with this comment, by the way. I really do. Rico, get off the D, man. First of all, pause. I ain't on anybody's D. You better chill out with that chatter. You better word your things correctly, my man. Anyway, he says, Rico, get off the D. 3 points in the second half. Focus on the offense. Trust me, I will. I still got some time left before I got to head to work. So hear me out. But I got to go through these PFF grades to kind of give you an idea of where our bright spots were and where there was some, you know what I'm saying, some inequities on this defense, right? So these grades, they tell a story, right? And you guys, I know we want to talk about, hey, but we only allowed them to score 3 points in the second half. You're right, we did. And this is why I got to circle back to my optimism of this team. And there was a tweet today by, I got to read it first so I can get out there. Joe Marino. And I respect Joe Marino. Joe Marino does this on a daily basis. That's a tough task to do, to talk Bills every single day, you know what I'm saying, and do your podcast and all that stuff. And I don't know what this brother does for a living. I don't know if it's that straight to that, but kudos to him because that's a tough gig. And he came out, and that's where the stat I got was 30.4%. That the defense blitzed Joe Burrow. And he says, hey, listen, I know the offense is all the fuss right now. Everybody wants to talk about the offense, right? But I just finished the defensive all 22, he says, and I cannot fathom McDermott's game plan. 10 days to prepare, and he determined the best path to success against Burrow was to send 5 and 6 man pressures. Now, although I get his premise, and I really do, but I disagree with his premise on McDermott's game plan with the 10 days of preparing. Although we had 10 days of preparing, I feel the same way because I'm with Joe. I get it, but I somewhat disagree with it too because when push comes to shove, we really didn't allow them to do too much in the second half. They did all their damage in the first half. We made our defensive adjustments. That's one thing I'll give McDermott, that he will make adjustments. He will make defensive adjustments. It may not be on the fly and as quickly as we want it, but you let him get into halftime, he's going to make some changes. He's going to change things up. And we did. And they only mustered 3 points. And we were the ones that were giving the ball back to the offense, but the offense just giving the ball back, right? Obviously, we gave the interception early. I think it was first quarter. We gave it up first quarter, early second quarter, can't call. And then the unfortunate, while we were moving the ball, the fumble from Dalton Kincaid. But the defense did their job. They're very bend but don't break. And with all the deficiencies we have on defense, you got to give this defense credit. And I know I chose defense as bad. It's like, man, I got to put them on as my bad because we for so long we've been accustomed to leaning on the defense to give us a play and give us the ball back. And they have been. And it sucks with all these injuries because if we didn't have these injuries, man, we wouldn't be talking about this. But man, you got to give McDermott his credit on adjusting with all these I'm running with Tyrell Dodson. I'm running with Rasul Douglas that just got here. I'm running with Dane Jackson that's doing a damn good job for today, right? Micah Hyde's hurt. So now I'm running with Poyer and Taylor Rapp. And now I've got a whole bunch of guys. Linval Joseph is in because, so I'm missing DeQuan Joe. There's so many deficiencies on this defense and guys missing. McDermott's doing what he can to still keep this team competitive defensively. It's the offense that has to help this time. And this is where I come in. The offense must help. And I read Joe's comment because the somewhat part that I disagree, because I mean, he's for the degree of what he said, he's right. McDermott had to change things up. He had to blitz. But he's trying to do anything he can to try to save these guys from getting cooked even more with 340 yards from Joe Burrow. So here's my thing. Offensively, you can only go up from here. That's the optimism that I'm staying with, right? And I know people want me to cook this offense and y'all ain't doing itch and y'all ain't doing nothing. You're right, they're not. They're not playing up to their potential. They're really not. And I know you guys probably don't want to hear a lot of this optimism, but it's truly how I feel. And I'm being honest when I say this. It's as low as it could get. We're not cooking right now. And the fact that we're not cooking and we're still able to stay competitive just tells me it's just one or two things that's got to click. And wake up and we're back to doing what we got to do. And this is where I feel we turn things around. A lot of folks have been talking about, like, hey, man, what do we always say, right? Whenever a team that's not that great comes to town, we play down. We play down to, saying how they play, and we just end up looking like crap and so on and so forth. So one can say we got rid of the teams that we play down to. Guess what's coming our way? Teams that are playoff bound, minus the Broncos. Teams that are playoff bound are coming. So what does that do for the Bills? That means we have to get our act together. We have to play up. And if we start playing up now, at this point, we're priming ourselves to get ready. We're gonna get some dubs along the way, but we're priming ourselves to get ready to make that playoff push. We may not be even close to trying to jump and get that number one spot. Where we're number one seed, I think that's out of the way. It's out of the way for now. But we're still very much in this AFC East. We're half a game behind the Dolphins because we beat the Dolphins. We're 5-4. They're 6-3. Half a game behind. We are still very much in this AFC East. The record you look at is it's nasty. I know that people talk about, the season's dead. There's so much football left in this damn football in the season. And you talk about the season's dead. Yes, the AFC is a tough conference, but right now what we got to focus on is our own division. We got the Broncos that are coming up. That's a beatable team. They've got their weaknesses. We're not going to walk through them, but it's a beatable team, and we should be able to come over and get a dub. And then we got to face the Jets again. The Jets defense is out of this world. But our backs are against the wall at this point. Our backs are against the wall at this point. So we got no choice. So when someone's back is against the wall, you got to come out and do what you got to do. When we were playing the Bucs, where we're like, we need this game against the Bucs. Our backs were against the wall. We had to come out and make some things happen. Defensively, obviously, we faltered a little bit and we let these guys get back in it. But when we give the ball away and we don't take care of what we're supposed to do, we're punting. You know what I'm saying? 3 times we're 4th and 2, we're punting, we're choosing the punt. That changes the game a little bit, but we can only go up. We can only go up. Right now, offensively, we're not where we want to be. But the one thing, the several things that are in our favor, we have a healthy-ish Josh Allen. His shoulder is kind of giving a problem, but he's still playing. And with Josh Allen on the field that's what you need. You got Stephon Diggs. You got an emerging and an ascending Kincaid. The O-line is going to have to kind of galvanize and get back to it and grind that out again. And this is where Ken Dorsey comes in. Ken Dorsey is going to have to kind of that clicking that they haven't been doing. They've got to figure something out. How do they figure something out? Well, listen, at the end of the day, if you are trying to save your job, because right at this point, when they asked McDermott, you think you're gonna make any changes at OC? He was adamant. He didn't wince. He didn't he said, no, we're not changing. We're not doing anything. We're keeping the way it is. So to me, here's what that tells me. And I'm gonna keep it a buck and be honest. I don't think McDermott has that much of an issue with Ken Dorsey's play call or his game plan or whatnot. I think, in my opinion, it's a lot of Josh ain't doing what the fuck he's supposed to do. Just look at the film and see the guys that are running wide the fuck open, and Josh is choosing not to go to them and choosing the harder pass. Like the interception he threw. There's no way you're going to tell me that Ken Dorsey drew up a terrible play and that's what it is. Fam, let me break that play down for you. I'm not going to break it down, but I'm going to tell you what position everybody was doing and what their route was. You had my man James Cook in the flat by himself. You had Kincaid breaking open to come inside. I think he was going out, or he was coming inside. And you had Diggs that was he was going to sit on a button route, turn around right there. If you could take that and you live for another play, you live to have short sticks and you can get something, but you give the ball up. And how often is Josh Allen doing that? just doing what he wants and just he think he Frank Sinatra on the field. I'm gonna do it my way. Nah, son. Stay within the context of what the hell I'm trying to get you to do. Now, can Dorsey get a little more creative? Hell yeah, he can get creative. Can Dorsey up tempo and not move away from up tempo? Because he's not without fault here. If you are moving the ball and Josh Allen's comfortable with staying in shotgun and just off, you know what I mean? Let's no huddle and keep going. Stay with it. Stay with it. Don't just move away from it because, you know what I mean? Let me just change it up a little bit. Sometimes you're in your own mind, you're thinking too hard, and now you mess things up. If it's rolling, roll with it. But Josh has got to be a better decision maker. Josh has not been making good decisions for too far in this game. He only wakes up in the fourth, but it's too late. We need you to be awake and we need you to be elite all game long because that's what elite quarterbacks do. And I'm going to say something else too, right? And somebody made this point, and I'm starting to kind of fall into that realm of I agree with that. When you look at all the big games Josh Allen's had, you think of obviously the 13-second game. I think of the big win against the Kansas City Chiefs regular season. I think of the Dallas Cowboy game on was it Thanksgiving? I think of those games, right? But most recently, you think of those games. We need more of those. But people go back to like, remember when Josh did this? Fam, we're in a new year. That was 2 years ago. We can't be harping on what he did 2 years ago, and that we need more of that, what he did 2 years ago this year. Right? And I know statistically it's looking really good, but at the end of the day, when we need points on the board, we're not able to do it. That starts with the general, with 17. And that starts with better decision-making. But Ken Dorsey's not absolved from this. He's got to get creative somewhere and where him and Josh are aligned. And right now, they're not aligned, but we've got time to get aligned. And that's what I'm optimistic about. The defense is going to do what they do. McDermott is going to have these guys ready to kind of like bend but not break. But it comes down to 17 not turning the ball over. Too many turnovers. They're too costly, man. They're way too costly. You can't be doing that. You've got to be on it. And right now, there's something something's not there, man. Something's not there right now, and I know it's gonna click. And when I hear him say, "We're gonna get it right, don't you worry about it," I actually believe the brother. He's battling something internal, but once he's kind of like he's figured that out, it's like, all right, you know what? Let's just lock in. Let's get this thing popping. Let's go and let's get this thing rolling. He'll get there. He'll get there. It's just right now, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure on him. But this is where the pressure's got to make you, you know what I'm saying, like sharpen your tools and get going. Right? Pressure, what is it? Pressure bust pipes? Well, let's go. It's happening right now. You got to maintain that pressure. Because right now that defense is looking at you like, yo, we're beat up, friend. We're beat up. We're trying to do what we can do. Just get us in the end zone. Often. And we'll do what we need to do. I just don't see it as doom and gloom as a lot of folks see it. And it's crazy because I would have been on them like a mother. Yo, this team is no good. They ain't going nowhere. I just don't see it, man. I think we're still a good damn team. And right now, Josh is battling something inside, bro. It's all in his head. It's all on him. He's battling something. Physically, he's got the tools. He's got all that stuff, man. He can do what he does. You see glimpses of it. Now, whether someone's saying, whoa, that's not what we talked about. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stay within what I told you. That's where they've got to come to a happy medium. They've got to come to a happy medium. Because once they do, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody in this fucking chat is going to be like, yo, welcome back the Bills that I love. The Bills I love to see. That's the Josh I know. Right? And I'm not gonna go without saying this because it's an essential part to this whole situation. We've got to put James Cook in a better position. I don't know what it is that we cannot get this brother going. It's killing our chances of moving the ball. It makes us depend on Josh too much. Right? Josh became our leading rusher last week. That's a trend that we were trying to buck. let's not get there. Let's depend on our guys. Right? I know Harris is hurt. I know we got a 32, 33-year-old running back and Latavius Murray. I get that part. But the James Cook, we drafted you, and I'm not blaming all of it on James Cook. There's got some moments where he's shuffling his feet too damn much. Hit the motherfucking hole and get going. All this dancing around, yo, quit it. Reminded me of CJ Spiller. Don't. And don't get me started on CJ Spiller. 1 year wonder, and that was it for him. Right? We don't need that. Hit the hole and get going. And now you got Leonard Fournette coming through. Hopefully, I'm not saying he's going to change everything, but hopefully that kind of gives us the edge we're looking for, and someone that can hit the hole, that can catch out of the backfield, that can protect the quarterback, and hopefully we start to sprinkle him more in. But we've got to find some kind of edge in running the football. Like, nobody trusts us running the football. Ain't nobody looking at us like, oh, watch out, the Bills are coming with that run game. But then you look at the statistics, and he's got damn near 500 yards rushing. So at the end of the day, something's got to open up where you've got to trust that you're running back there, because he's got the physical tools to do it. We got no choice. We can't go back and get somebody else. You got to use him. So use him to his best of his abilities right now. Look what the Detroit Lions are doing with Gibbs. They're using that brother, man. They're putting him where in space. They're giving him the opportunities to get things done while Montgomery's out. You need that, man. Look at Raymond Ramirez just told me he's averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Find the run plays that cater to him. You can't tell me that all he's good at is running out of shotgun. Come on, man. Let's change things up a little bit. So, Quentin Morris being healthy, maybe we go and return to some package of 12 personnel, and we start to kind of, run the ball from under center. But something has to give. We gotta establish the run game, because the run game helps us. We couldn't establish a damn run game last week whatsoever against the Bengals. We became one-dimensional to the point where Josh was the one that had to take off and help us run. Doesn't that get sick? Doesn't that get tiresome? I know I am. I'm tired of it, bro. Let's get these guys rolling. Let's get these guys involved with this thing, man. Let's become a team where you're gonna have to pay attention to us a little bit in the run game. We don't have to be a run-heavy team, but golly, you got to give us something. You can't be wasting away a second-round draft pick in James Cook, and we can't establish anything. Nah, man, it doesn't make any sense to me. And once we can establish something in the run and get a bit of a rhythm, and start moving the chains on first down, and then maybe go up tempo, like this is where Josh and Dorsey have to come together in this. They got to, man. This team is too damn talented offensively to fall in this trap. It's time for the offense to carry the defense. It's time. The defense has been doing their job the last 4 or 5 years of carrying this team and making sure that we keep our opponents to 17 points a game. Y'all can do what you got to do. If you're keeping opponents to 17 points a game, you're doing your job. Right now, this offense is not doing theirs. Now it's time for this defense to say, yo, help me out. I've said this before, man. The defense is saying, help me. Tired, bro. I'm hurt. I'm tired. Like, we got guys that are, pieced together. Now, hopefully, Rasul Douglas kind of brings a bit of maturity to the defense. He brings obviously brings experience to the defense. And maybe he gives us the ability to, start taking the ball away, because he is a risk taker. He will jump on routes. Linval Joseph, what an addition. He came out his first debut, did his thing. We're going to see a lot more from Linval Joseph. So the defense is trying to do something. We're trying, man. We trade for Rasul Douglas. We get Linval Joseph in there, right? We had to go and bring a linebacker in too as well. Like, we're trying to make things happen here and there. But fam, offense has got to do it, because right now, I'll tell you, this is probably what it's going to look like next week. If Bernard can't go, it's going to be Tyrell Dotson next to freaking, either it's going to be Balen Spector or it's going to be freaking AJ Klein. Take your pick. So guess what? We have to get our act together offensively. You got to, man. Because if we don't, man, listen, these L's will pile up. And once these L's start piling up, you ain't going to see Josh Allen stay all year. They're going to shut his ass down and say, you'll get your shoulder right. If the season's doomed the way I think if we continue to take those L's. But I just don't think we will. I think these matchups that are coming up is actually a blessing in disguise. And I hope I'm so right when I say this, man. Because if I'm wrong, then shoot. So be it. But my gut's telling me we get right with the Broncos at home Monday night. We get right against the Broncos. Then we got the Jets. We got to repay the Jets a visit. Zach Wilson, we can't allow Zach Wilson to do what he does. I know that defense is good. We got to come up with a game plan. We can take the Jets. So that's two. We can take them. That's 2 games. Now we're getting some confidence. We're getting some swagger back. And now we play the Eagles. And this is where you need to set yourself up to see who's got who. That's the dog right there. We got to see. We have an opportunity, folks. And then we're going to the bye. And then we got the Chiefs right after the bye. This could be where we make our run. Why do I say that? Because we always play up to tough competition. And then when these broke-ass teams come to us that are terrible, we play down. I just hope we don't play down to these Broncos. Although the Broncos are coming off a huge win against the Chiefs. So who knows where they're at. But I'm optimistic about the rest of how this season is going to go based on how we've trended in the past and how this is going to go down. I know some of y'all may not agree with what I'm saying. Just wait. It's got to go one game at a time. And I guarantee I'll see your asses back up here again. Be like, shit, you were onto something. Or y'all can come back and roast me like, yo, remember when you said this team is about to make a run, they're going to do better? Well, fuck. What direction, how lower more can we go? Honestly. We're pretty low right now, man. We lost to the Bengals. We only started scoring up in the second half. In the fourth quarter, we barely got out of it against the Giants. Like, we have not been playing the greatest, man. We almost let the Bucs come back and take on our Hail Mary. And that, to me, in my opinion, that wasn't the Bucs weren't not a good team, man. I don't feel that they're a good team. They're okay. They're okay. I just feel we are a better team than okay. And I think we're about to turn that corner. We're about to turn that corner, man. I got a question coming from Augusta. Says, Eureka, why do you still have confidence in this team? Please talk about it. What the fuck did I just do for the last 10 minutes? what the fuck? I just told you why I have confidence, team. I think you can only go up. You can only go up. And if you're a competitor like Josh Allen's a competitor, you're going up against Russell Wilson. You're going up against the Jets that has our number, and they've been playing well, but offensively, they just can't get shit done. So we're going to have to do what we got to do against them. And then you're going up against, you're saying, the quarterback for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is a dog right now. And the Eagles right now are 8-1. Now I'm going too far ahead of myself. We got to take care of Russell Wilson and these Sean Payton-led Broncos with a strong run game. But we've been all right. So plays have to be made. Plays have to be made, and it starts with the Broncos on Monday night. Stack dubs. Start getting our act together, and we can only go up from here. I'm optimistic, man. Now, we lose 2 in a row, 3 in a row with this Bengals loss that we just had, then that's a whole other ballgame now. Davis Cooler says, you're talking like a homer. I am far from a homer. Believe me. But if you guys hear me talking like this, it's because that there is some optimism, man. And you guys, if you guys been watching me long enough, if you're not just showing up and watching me the last couple of weeks, no, I'm talking about long enough that you've been seeing me the last couple of years, then you know what I'm about. I call it what it is. But if I still feel that we got something in this, there's still a lot of season left. I'm still with it, man. I don't know why I just there's that gut feeling you get. Still got it, man. I think Josh is ready to say, you know what, F it, because I think they're right now. Coach is sick and tired of answering questions. He's gonna have a tough conversation with Ken Dorsey. They're gonna have a tough conversation and getting shit together with Josh Allen, and we go from there. Kim Best knows exactly what it is, man. Rico ain't no damn homer. You're tripping if you think that. So that's that's where my head is at, and that's where my stance is at. I got a super chat coming in. I got to get the super chat in real quick. Jason Dean says our defense would be healthy if the offense would stay off the damn field and score. He ain't lying though, man. I mean, this defense getting gassed a little bit, staying on the damn field, and when Josh turns the ball over, he's got to chill with that turn the ball over. But it's unfortunate because when Kincaid turned that thing over, man, deflated. Because let me tell you something, and this is another thing too, right? Keep it, and if you guys are really keeping it honest, honest, all right, we were moving that football. We were moving that football before Kincaid fumbled it, and the Bengals, there was no answer. They were just getting the ball moved on them, right? There was no answer. We go in and score that. All right, we score that touchdown. I think at the time we had 10 points at that time. We go in and score that. The score becomes what? What was the score at the time? I just can't recall. I think they were at 21-17. Perfect. The score would have been 21-17. Or was it 20? Did they have 24 points at that point? No, they didn't. The score would have been 21-17 with a lot of time left. You mean to tell me the defense would have been pumped up and ready to just get this thing rocking if we go ahead and score off that drive? Give me a fucking break if you guys don't believe that shit. Give me a break. That was deflating. That fumble was deflating because we were moving the football. Up tempo, we were going. We were moving that thing. If we went and scored that thing, different ball game. Different ball game. Now we're like, okay, we got a whole lot of football left. Let's go. Josh is dialed in right now. Okay, he's got a bit of a rhythm. Let's move this thing. Defense. All right, you already know what's at stake. Let's go. Let's do this. Now, if the defense falters and lets it happen, so be it. It's expected because they're depleted. But offensively, that's what we expect from this team. So I'm not going to be that fan that goes off the edge and wants to sit here and have a 3-hour, 2-hour, an hour of just shitting on the team. It's easy to do that, but I'm like, hold on a second now. We're just a couple things away from fixing. We get back on track. And I guarantee you, every one of you suckers that are talking shit about this team right now, we right back on and be like, go Bills, Bills Mafia. Be Bills Mafia through and through. You can still be critical of the team, but look at the bright side of it too, man. You can't tell me that we're gonna be like this all season long. We just gonna be buns on offense all season long. When we have Josh Allen, when we have Stephon Diggs, when you have Kincaid that's coming on right now, fam, you tripping if that's what you think. And we haven't even utilized Khalil Shakir enough yet. Wait till we start to, to really start to kind of okay, we got to open things up and get this guy more involved. It's going to happen. Now, most people might be like, yo, dude, we're 9 weeks in. What do you mean? What you waiting for? We got 9 more games to go. Trust me. When your back's against the wall, you're going to try everything you got. And right now, I feel this is the point. This is that point where our backs are against the wall. We're 5-4. If you were to start the playoffs right now, we ain't making the playoffs. So that's enough of a reality check for people to realize what's happening. Now, if you agree with that stance, where I'm at, where my mind's at, smash that like. Because I'm trying to give you guys a different perspective. I could easily come here and talk about this, that, and the third, and this ain't good, this ain't that. I could. What good does that do for anybody? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a miserable week. I got to give you a different angle to look at. We got too much damn offensive firepower on this team for us to sit here and put up 17 points. Man, that shit ain't going to last long. I'm going to tell you that right now. That shit ain't going to last long. Now, on the flip side, if you don't start to see some changes on the offensive side of the ball in the next 2 weeks, where you see something, because sometimes it's all about the eye test. You got to see it. We were able to move the ball at will. Okay, the game plan was pretty good. The play calls were solid. Then you can say, I'm okay with that. But if it's the same old stuff, the next 2 weeks, we can't run the football, Josh is still making those silly mistakes, and the plays look elementary, then I'm all for having that conversation. Like, yo, what are we doing here? You have not changed. It's the same old thing with you. Then I'm with y'all to say, okay, what's up? Because week 13 is our bye week. If you don't start seeing changes by the bye week, then you'll probably see something happen. If McDermott's going to grow a pair and make something happen. That's if he does. But I think we turn things around sooner than that, and we start to ascend, and then people will get right back on the bandwagon, and it's Bills Mafia all day. That's just the way I look at it, man. It sounds crazy that I'm talking like this because I'm normally the one that's like, man, I don't know. I'm the skeptic usually, but if I feel the way I'm feeling right now, maybe I got a good feeling, and that's how we're gonna end this stream. I got a couple super chats I gotta read, and we'll get into it. By the way, I gotta sit here and give love to the members of the channel. And I'm gonna do a better job. And I was talking to one of my homies, James Kehoe, and we were talking, and he's a member of the channel, and he made a very good point. And I got to be better in interacting with the channel members. And when you guys are throwing up your comments and your super chats or whatnot, I got to come in there and show love and read your comments because you guys are channel members. And I got to show you love. So if you know your channel members, you'll notice that their icons are a little different on the screen. You'll see that. You'll just know who your channel members are. So I appreciate every one of you channel members showing love. And I got to show you guys back the love, man, for real. And you guys have been that dude. 10K Drippy, what's up, bro? But y'all, what it is, man. And I really do appreciate y'all. So I just want to let you guys know that off the rip. And super chats, obviously, I always take on the super chats. Like my man Terrence Bland, you'll notice that Terrence Bland is a channel. He's a channel member, and I appreciate your channel. My man Terrence Bland, he's got the microphones up because he knows what's good. He knows what's happening. He knows what time it is. So I appreciate you, and I got to show more love to my channel members, and we'll go from there, man. Joshua Richardson, I see you, man. Poyer and Hyde is definitely paying their age this year, and they lost a couple steps, bro. I know in the next year or two, we're definitely going to have to tackle the safety position. No questions about it. So, super chat coming in from my man, Josh Richardson. What's up, JR? What up, Rico? I think McDermott is making J.A. play different style of play, and it's getting J.A. frustrated, and he doesn't like being held back, and it shows. Here's the deal. I got a little time left, right? I think it's what McDermott is doing is good, but there's got to be a balance, a good balance. And I think what McDermott's trying to do for Josh Allen is save him and his team from not being too reliant on using his legs and not be too reliant on playing backyard football and play a little more disciplined and play a little more. So I'm saying, like, if you don't like what you see, take the checkdowns. Okay, right? But at one point, Josh is going to have to find that middle ground where he can be himself and do what he does and be a dynamic player, but also be mature enough to not take what's there and take the checkdown. Because these athletes that we have on our team are damn good. I remember it was a 3rd and short a couple weeks ago, and he took the check down to Latavius Murray, which easily could have been just a 4th down and keep it moving. But Latavius Murray got the first down where we knew he wasn't going to get the first down, but he made a play. You've got to put the ball in the hands of your playmakers because you just never know what can happen. Get that brother in space. Look at Kincaid. Kincaid was a 2nd and long, and this boy contorted his body and got a first down. Let's keep it rolling. It was 3rd down, and he kept the ball. He kept the chain rolling. So you got to give your guys a chance to make a play. Even if it's not the sexy down the field, that check down can turn into a touchdown easily. So get your guys in space. Be mature. And I think that's what, in my opinion, that's what coach is trying to instill in Josh Allen. You need to be mature. You're year 6 now. You're 7. You're 27 years of age, man. You're in your prime. But this is where you've got to, in your prime, you got to know when to fold them, I guess, take that check down, or when to really go for the gusto. And Josh is ready to go for the gusto every time. You just can't do it because guess what? You tried to go for the gusto against Cam Taylor-Britt, and he read that like a book. So what were you thinking? You weren't. And I think that's what Coach McDermott is trying to get Josh Allen to do. Think. Why do you think Stephon Diggs was like, yo, think, man. Use your brain. Everybody's looking at it like, yo, he's insulting him. He's this, that. No, man, use your brain, bro. Like, you didn't have to make that play. You could have took the check down, bro. That's what it comes down to. I feel like I'm ranting, but I'm just, you know what I mean? Trying to keep it a buck with y'all, man. Real talk. What's up, my man? My man Ray comes in and says, yo, thanks for the level-headed commentary. I appreciate you seeing the level-headed commentary. I don't want to go off the rails. What does that do for us, right? I got to look at it from a different perspective and give the fans and give the viewers a different way of looking at it, because we could easily stay in this bubble of anger or we can look at like, okay, so what's going on with this team? And I'm hoping that I kind of open your thoughts up on certain things, right? But thanks for your level-headed commentary. Season ain't over yet. We were 8-6 in 2021 and almost made the Super Bowl. I'm not sweating it. Lots of ball left. And that's exactly what it is, man. There's lots of ball left. There's no need to start panicking. But I don't like the record of 5-4. Let's not get it twisted. I hate that. I need us to be better. My man Bartek, my Polish wonder, what's happened, brother? He goes, have you seen the stat where Josh Allen is better with less time to throw? Curious if that's a cause of overthinking it, or when he has more time, or if the defense drops in coverage, are we not scheming guys open? See, that's a Josh Allen thing, man. So if they ain't coming, they ain't blitzing you. And I've seen stats where if he's got the most time, he will dot you up. So it all depends. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, spying Josh, because maybe half in his mind he's ready to take off, but he notices the spy, so now his eyes got to go back, divert. I'm not a quarterback coach, and I'm not going to sit here and cap and tell you like I know. But just based on what I see and what I think is happening, Josh is internally battling with what coach is trying to tell him to do and what his old ways were. Right? And he's trying to, you know what I mean, put them together. And it's tough, man. You've been doing one thing one way your damn whole life, pretty much from high school to college to your first few years in the league. And now they're trying to tell you, okay, we love all the things that you're doing, but we need you now to start being mature a little bit. All right. We need you to start being a little mature. I need you to start kind of doing some things. Now, does Ken Dorsey's play calling have to be a little more creative? Heck yeah. There's no question. Everybody in this situation has to be better. Everyone, including Coach McDermott in his judgment, including Ken Dorsey in his play selection and who to scheme open. We've got too many athletic guys on this freaking field for you not to get the ball in their hands. You mean to tell me Deontay Hardy, all you got to do is send him deep, and you send him deep one time, and that's it? That's part of the plan? You can't get that brother in space. You can't find somewhere to put him and get the ball in his hands and show you what he does. It's mind-boggling. That is on Ken Dorsey. Find ways to get guys on the field that can make plays for you. Put the ball in their hand and let's see what they can do. But you got to scheme it right. So everybody's got a hand in this, man. So Bartek, I appreciate that super chat, bro. Much love. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, man. Zoomer Cage, what's up, Zoomer? Zoomer comes in and says, I'm glad you're optimistic, Rico. Rev and Z-Bot ready to give up on the team. They're just passionate, man. They're just passionate. They're passionate about this team. They want this team to win. And I get it. I totally get it. They want the best for this team, but they just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not ready to give up on it just yet. And normally I would be right with them, because what we've been doing and what we've been displaying and what we've been putting out on film and what we've been putting out for the world to watch has been some total bullshit. That's real talk. But we know that ain't the squad. Now, if we were putting some total bullshit because Josh Allen was hurt, Kyle Allen was the one thrown, I could say I understand that. But we got everybody in check and in tune. So it's just a matter of when things start to really pop off. And when they do, you know, Bills don't play around. When they wax you hard. They take you to the cleaners when they put points on you. So it's just a matter of time until this thing happens, man. Just a matter of time, man. And it will happen. Shout out to my man Cody Ben, says, yo, can we get back to that haircut Rico talk? I can talk about it a little bit before I get out of here, because I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed, man. Because usually I'm pretty good with just kind of, speak on my mind and tell someone whether, I feel good about something or not. But we'll talk about it in just a moment. Joshua Richard says, yo, I agree, Thomas. Coaching staff sucks. What did Thomas say? I got to go back to what Thomas is saying before we sit here and start agreeing with Thomas. Okay, all Thomas said was the coaching staff sucks. So Thomas Logan, that's the same coaching staff that's turned this whole franchise around, that's got us playoff bound every damn year, that's got us 3 division champs, and you sitting here, this coaching staff sucks. Logan must be new, or Thomas Logan must be new, because, and when I say new, a new fan, because if you want to talk about coaching staff, trust me, go back and look at the coaching staff that we've had from 2000 up until 2017. Then you want to talk about coaching staff stuff? Go look at what we had. I can't let that shit back. I can't let that shit fly, man. People just say some shit just to say some shit. Nah, man, you tripping. My man legit says, yo, Rico, you and Tasker need to take your rose-colored glasses and celebrate together. Legit, man. You gonna be the same brother that comes back here talking about go Bills. The same cat. So I ain't sweating it, brother. I ain't sweating one bit. And that's what it is, man. I get it. There's some people like, yo, listen, you're just sick of it. You're done. Your level of patience is gone. I get it. Some people like that. They just don't have the patience. They say, yo, man, I'm on to basketball season, baby. I get it. Rev says, yo, Zoomer, this boring offense can't even put me to sleep. Damn, yo, Rev is out of here. Rev is like, yo, I am not messing with this team. I want nothing to do with them. It's a wrap. Don't even talk to me about this team. Rev says, yo, heck nah, man. My flex seal is throwing Dorsey overboard and going with Brady, Cromer, or Shula for the rest of the year. Here's the thing. Rev, although those are viable options. But like Brady got dumped halfway through the year when he was a Matt Rule in Carolina. Now, who knows why? I don't know why, right? But he got dumped because something wasn't fly. Something didn't fly, right? And sometimes when people make the jump from collegiate to college, it don't mean it's necessarily going to work out. I know it's a different, fresh mind. I know he coached Joe Burrow when he was with LSU. Who knows if it's going to be the same? I have no idea. That's the thing. It's a crapshoot. You could dump Dorsey right now and go with Joe Brady, and it's still a possibility. You never know what McDermott's going to do. But as of right now, he says, no, I got no plans on changing shit. We're going to keep it up. We just got to execute. And at the end of the day, we do. Because we ain't executing shit. When Josh Allen's making the wrong decisions and we fumbling and we throwing interceptions, are we going to blame Cam Dorsey? Can he be a little more creative? Of course he can. Of course he can. But every one of these guys that you're talking about, Cromer, failed at OC, Shula, you're only going by name. So, like, listen, we can't be just tossing names out there. You know what I mean? We got a guy that's been with Josh Allen for 4 straight years. He knows him the best. Brady just got here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, brother. So at the end of the day, folks, let me just put a button into this. Let me just put a button in this. McDermott right now, this whole squad right now is in a lull. I gotta watch my time here. So here's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? Josh Allen right now is that student that has excelled in his classroom, has done well, and his teacher, Brian Dable, ended up taking a job at another school. But guys, our teacher assistant and Ken Dorsey has been watching me how I do my thing all day. Don't worry about it. He's gonna teach you the same curriculum. It's not gonna change. Maybe he might put a couple wrinkles in it, but it's still gonna be the same. You guys will be great. You'll be fine, right? Ken Dorsey takes over as a teacher and continues the same curriculum. But now it's this year. So he's like, yeah, the curriculum is great, but there's a few things that I want to teach you guys that I think will prepare you for the next level. So right now, at this point, they're still learning this new way of going. Can Ken Dorsey go back to the old curriculum? Of course he can, but it's not his curriculum. It's the old regime's curriculum. Now it's my curriculum now. I want you to follow my curriculum. I still will sprinkle in the old one, but now it's mine. Problem is, the principal is overseeing this, and that's Sean McDermott. And Sean McDermott's got to pay attention closely to this. He doesn't need to make rash decisions. He's watching this. As the principal of the school, he's got to see his teachers do the job, and he sees the lesson plan, but Josh has got to execute. It's all about them coming together and finding the best way to execute. And as a leader of the school, as a leader of this team, you don't want to do rash decisions this early just yet. Let them work it out. You gotta execute, and we'll see how this plays out. At the end of the day, that's what's got to happen. The superintendent of the school board and all that stuff, that's Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane is watching this closely as well. So, how can I make this roster better? And he's done it. Rasul Douglas, Linval Joseph, because defensively, that's where we need to start to get our freak on back again. So once we start to kind of, get these guys accustomed, maybe we start flexing at the right time. But right now, we're still working towards it. Unfortunately, we're 9 weeks in. We don't have an identity, but we soon have to find one. And if we have to go back to the old curriculum just a tad to kind of get the ball rolling again, hopefully we'll get the best version of Josh Allen and his team. We will soon see. So I'm still optimistic, and we'll see how this plays out. So that's my time, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And you guys already know what time it is, man. So smash that like before you get out of here. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel. You guys already know what it is. It's going to be Monday Night Football for the Bills. My man Rev will be back Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be evening or morning, so we'll check that out. And at the end of the day, we're back at it again on Friday. Hopefully, I'm going to try to find some Broncos fans to talk some football, and we will go from there. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. I got to go get ready for work. I'm way past my time. I got to start rushing. So we will catch you guys again. And you guys have yourself a great day. So if you guys love the show, do me a favor. If there's parts that you like, hit me up, clip it, do it, and let me know what stood out to you that you agree with or you disagree with, whatever it is. I mean, I love to interact with y'all, so let me know. Hit me up on Twitter, Rico_BF_, and we will go from there, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. It's the Rico Report. And I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a great and blessed evening, and do this up again. For some reason, I feel like I'm forgetting something to put out there, but here we are, man. I think I got everything, man. So, and by the way, if you guys have not downloaded the BR app, the Bleacher Report app, go ahead and download that Bleacher Report app, and your boy's gonna be back on it again. Actually, November 14th. I got another stream coming November 14th, so keep an eye out for that, and we'll go from there, man. So that is my time, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Do not be so damn negative on these Bills, man. You guys already know how it is, man. This is an up and down season. Don't forget, the New York Football Giants were just caving. They weren't doing well until they found the right time to spark, and they took down the big time Patriots that were 17-1, and they won the damn Super Bowl. So calm your titties, everybody. Have yourself a fantastic evening, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. And before I get out of here, man, you guys have a great one, and we'll catch you guys. And be good, man. Find a moment to say something nice to somebody, and we'll go from there, man. So until next time, it's your boy Rico, and I'm gone. Let's go.